over 3 years, over 5 years as we progress into the future.
Well, how and this is more of a personal point then, how would you know that BEE is working? So again, I'm going to use the sporting example. You know a team is the best. You know the Springboks are the world's best because they won the final of the very best. Simple, easy to understand, right? How would you know that BEE as a concept is working when even the ANC, for example, as the ruling party has said, that the whole concept has been severely flawed in terms of what the goodwill was from day one?
I think it's a great question, Ashraf. I'll answer it in two parts. One, there is the measure of what have we set ourselves to achieve, and are we achieving it? And that's what we call the sector codes, okay? So, for example, the financial services sector, which is all the banks and insurance companies, they got together, they set certain targets, they agreed on those targets. That target was gazetted in a sector code, and everybody in that industry is working towards their target, right? So there is a target set by sector. Tourism did the same, mining has struggled a bit, but they're trying to do the same. Agriculture has done the same. Many other industries have done the same, okay? But the second part of the question is, surely, ultimately, how do we know you've reached the target? How do we know it's worked? Well, it is when we are able to measure all elements of the economy and say the participation of South Africans in all elements of the economy reflects the demographics of all South Africans. So, in other words, when we look at who the CEOs are of South Africa's largest companies, that must reflect the demographics of South Africa. When you look at the ownership patterns of companies, they need to reflect the demographics of South Africa.
And so forth and so if it doesn't happen, then it's not working, right? Here's the bottom line to it. What for you was the biggest takeout of all the things that you went into yesterday?
Yesterday's biggest takeout is the low light, and that is the fact that across all industries, and I'm talking about from mining to banking, we are horrible at management control. In other words, we have an economy where ownership is progressing seemingly according to the scores and how it's measured, which is a whole other debate. But according to the target set and the agreed measurements, it seems as if ownership is improving. In other words, more and more Black people, Black women, Black youth, Black people living with disabilities are having a share of the economy, but in control. When you look at who controls the economy, who controls these big companies, we are horrible in terms of those the lowest scoring across all the sectors.
On that horrible note, let's leave it at that. Andile Khumalo, thanks for your time. People should follow you, Andile Khumalo, at Andile_Khumalo, but also the website to need to know more about all this. It's pretty simple, sanlamgauge.co.za. But perhaps, Andile, you can also just tag me now so I can share that right away. Appreciate your time. There we are. BEE. Are we where we set out to be from day one in 1994? You probably could ask the same question about the country. Are we this champion nation that we wanted to have? And clearly we're not there. How do we in fact get there? Certainly two people who certainly have the qualifications on the one hand, but then decides they need to get closer to, the son of the soil or the toiling and understanding humanity is what we're going to talk about next, and just see how that plays out in a moment. My Lord, show me right from wrong.
Huda SA is an organization that focuses primarily on assisting communities within the eThekwini region by collaborating with existing Islamic centers, mosques and madrasas. Your contribution goes towards the uplifting of orphans and vulnerable children, including vulnerable families, by assisting with education, welfare, nutrition and maintenance of madrasas, mosques and Islamic community centers. Make the difference. Donate to our noble causes. More information is available at huda-int.org or WhatsApp or call us on 031 271 3049. My Lord, show me right from wrong. Give me light, make me strong. I know the road is long.
Osman's Taj Mahal Spice and Rice. For over 80 years, Osman's Taj Mahal have been perfecting the art of the perfect blend of spices, pure, aromatic, and well-seasoned. Spices to tantalize your taste buds. From creative cuisines to gastronomical gourmet goodies. From exotic odors to traditional dishes, Osman's Taj Mahal have remained synonymous with quality spices and condiments. Taj Mahal rice, beans, and lentils. Try our range of chili bite mixes, rose and ilachi syrup, our quick and easy biryani pack, and our traditional range of spice blends. Osman's Taj Mahal. There is no substitute for quality.
This Ramadan, can we still feel the heartbreak, the grief, the pain, Islamic Relief needs you to keep feeling, because the believers are like one body. When any part aches, the whole body aches. Feel their pain. From just 450 Rand, you can ease their pain this Ramadan. Donate now to Islamic Relief. Visit www.islamic-relief.org.za.
Motala Perfumes, one of the biggest perfume manufacturing houses in Africa, with a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility specializing in designing, creating, developing and producing new scents and matching designer fragrances for all our stores, as well as private labeling for individuals and companies across Africa. Visit your nearest Motala Perfumes store or visit our website at www.motalaperfumes.com for more information on creating your own brand.
Over 30,000 children were treated at the emergency centre at Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital in 2020. This year, the Children's Hospital Trust calls on you to gift your charity towards the purchasing of life-saving medical equipment.
Elevate your Ramadan, share your Sadaqah Jariyah and give the gift of life to sick and injured children. Donate today. Visit childrenshospitaltrust.org.za.
Elevate your Ramadan, elevate your rewards.
Looking to cook delicious meals whilst trying to stay healthy this Ramadan? Try Sunfoil Pro Chef Canola Oil. It's high in omega-3 fatty acids and has a platinum endorsement from the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Sunfoil Pro Chef, the healthier choice. Want to know a secret? You can create delectable treats from your favorite bakery in your very own home this Ramadan. The best bakers know for the perfect decadent treat, they only use Wooden Spoon baking margarine. Wooden Spoon, the magic in baking.
The Ashraf Garda Show, 8 to 10 a.m. on Salam Media.
Somebody posts certain things on social media, how we all respond to it. So the name Shabir Chauhan got picked up yesterday when we chatted to that whole story around Indian delights, right? You know, that one came up. It comes up again today because Shabir Chauhan posted on LinkedIn 2 days ago. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, I saw a fascinating story that he had about a couple, Zaid and Zahida Faiki, and where they come from in terms of what they do, but very importantly, what they're doing right now, okay? So clearly the influence of Shabir Chauhan is there. So with me today, Zaid and Zahida Faiki, and appreciate your time, both of you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
Good. So if I'm talking to you and it's slightly inconvenient, blame it on Shabir Chauhan and his amplifying powers, okay? So what I'm very interested in is, very quickly, and maybe Zaid, let me start with you, in terms of both of you have done, you have a certain space in the auditing, accounting space, and that has changed. So what has happened, and very quickly, what did you do next?
Yeah, so both of us are chartered accountants, and we actually, as a family, we had a goal at the age of 40. I was meant to retire from the profession and actually go into serving humanity, fulfilling our greater purpose. I missed that. I achieved all my goals at 40, but that. And at 42, Zada and I actually went out on holiday to Cambodia. We made Istikhara Salah. And yeah, this is where we are today. I left the profession and went into focusing on education and health. And somehow or the other, we got involved in social work as well.
Okay, and Zahida, let me bring you in. What happened? So that was his goal. What is your goal?
You know, we lived abroad for many years, overseas in Europe and the States. And both of us always felt that we needed to come back to South Africa and give. So that was like a long-term goal. And I was involved in community organizations and things. But I think when lockdown happened, something manifested which was far greater than us. So we always wanted to contribute to society, and somehow I think the path found us.
Okay, and that contributions, I'm reading it as We Feed SA. Zahida, tell me more about that.
About the name?
Yeah, no, the concept. What does We Feed SA do?
Okay, I think to explain what We Feed SA does, it's more who we are, because it's made up of such wonderful people. We have people who are the volunteers. It's an amazing bunch of people who give of their time and of themselves, basically. We have the sponsors. We have people sponsoring from 100 Rand a month to big corporate sponsors. We have amazing staff who came together during lockdown to come and help with the feeding, and they've stayed on. They're absolute gems. And we have our beneficiaries whom we work very closely with. So all of us comprise We Feed SA.
Okay, and Zaid, tell me about, we often forget, even outside of Ramadan, the level of dire poverty, the lack of access to the most basic foods every single day. Do I take it that We Feed SA, strikes an arrow straight to that?
Well, Ashraf, it's actually more than that. If you look at the name We Feed SA, the feed actually stands for feeding, empowering, educating, and doing it with dignity. The D stands for us doing it and serving humanity with dignity. So using our collective experience, we've actually said that, feeding is always the start of the transaction, but our focus is beyond that, is actually to empower and educate. And so we've actually started with the feed program during the lockdown, because that was a crisis, right? But we actually wanted to have a more sustainable approach to this whole crisis and empower people, educate people. And that's where We Feed SA actually wants to focus the efforts in the next few years. And
well, I'm delighted it's a lot broader. We've only got 30 seconds left, so hopefully we'll chat some other time. Quickly, Zaida, one big takeout in terms of the impact that We Feed SA is making, and Zaid, you can give me the same answer as well.
Oh, well, I think, the impact is so much greater than serving the people whom we serve. It's also, I think, changing the mindset amongst the volunteers and the people who are involved, that we can actually make a difference. We can be the change we want to see in society. So I think that concept is the most important thing, that you need to change, but you can actually be part of the process.
Yeah.
Okay, Zaid, yours, 15 seconds.
So it's about, the reach, the number of volunteers, and the fact that collectively people with like-minded or ambitions can actually bring value to society and actually solve the problems that we face with.
Okay, I'm going to follow you guys with greater interest now. Just be warned, because I like what you're doing. We Feed SA is what they do, and feed is an acronym for something much more than just chow. There you got it, Zaid and Zaida Feki. Appreciate your time. Assalamu alaikum, and we'll certainly keep in touch. Lots more to talk about, but let's get to the news now. Just go 9 o'clock.
Connect with Salam Media on Twitter @Salam Media.
Also spoke during a hybrid sitting of the National Assembly yesterday, where he answered oral questions on various issues affecting the country. He reacted to a question by FF Plus leader Peter Groenewald on how cases of GBV have been reduced, as well as on how backlogs are eradicated. Ramaphosa